Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. The fourth noble truth we're going to be exploring today through the Dharma talk and then practice. And so, yeah, as we just sort of settle in, we always take a moment just to touch in on how we are. Taking a few moments to arrive. This is no like small thing what I'm saying right now, right? So just grokking or getting a sense of like how much, how here you are. Oftentimes just like, okay, that reflection can help us sort of close the gap between where we are and where our attention is dwelling. So coming all the way into your body. And just for this time that we have together, we can drop the burden of what's happened up to this moment. Like it's already gone. It's already gone. And, gaming out what's coming up next isn't necessary right now. So really allowing yourself to be here so that you can receive what you're here to receive. And with this, go ahead and you can put, how it is for you in this moment, right? Happy, sad, angry, afraid, or some variation of that. What are you noticing? You don't have to dig, but just what are you noticing? And then what is your intention, what it is that you're most wanting to feel or receive? Hi, Marlene. Hi, Marilyn. I'm so glad you're here. So go ahead and put that in the chat. Expectant. Oh, yes, you're noticing expectance. You're expectant. Yeah, you notice what that feels like in your body, Alan. I know for me, sometimes it's like I'm the anticipation. Sometimes I'll notice like there's this sense of I'm waiting or I'm into. It's so subtle, right? That yours might be different than that, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I know it's common. Feeling energized and accomplished. Wow. Yes. Thanks, Anna. Marilyn, feeling good, content, looking forward to slowing down after a busy morning. Yes, good, Marilyn. Excited, curious, Devai, agree. Thank you. Marlene, feeling anxiety, fear, intention, connection. Thank you. Good, good, good. And it's so good, Marlene, right? How cool. Like a hindrance is in operation right now. Right? Like we were exploring the hindrances last week. If you didn't catch that, please watch it on YouTube. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, subscribe, but really watch the talk and the sit on the hindrances. Restlessness and worry are hindrances. So it's good to notice, like, okay, yeah, we can't prevent them from arising. They just will. Right? That was the one piece around the hindrances that I really wanted to land, was the blameless nature of them. Yet at the same time, like this morning, I was noticing I was kind of agitated, irritated. And I was like, anger, ill will is here. Yeah, just in seeing it and then noticing, okay. It helps us not to act out of it. And it also helps us to take care of it. So that was a nice little summary from last week as we head into the fourth noble truth. Apprehension, wanting to calm down, hectic morning, Ruth, yes. Joanne, looking forward to serenity, yeah. Expectancy, Joanne, yeah. Looking forward, right? So there's just like, we're just noticing like, oh yeah, it's not wrong, it's not right, it's just, this is how it is for me right now. And then we allow this state of being that you've put into the chat. This is not in the way of your serenity, but actually the way to it. Like whatever you're experiencing right now. Yeah, so we take that and we let it fold into our practice. We allow all of us, all of who we are, to be here. Yeah, to be in the Sangha, right? It's like a sensing of that. Okay, no one can see all of what I'm experiencing right now. I'm not even totally aware of all of that, but all of that, it belongs here. What's conscious and what's unconscious, it all belongs. Okay, the fourth note, it's a big one. So, inside I have like, look, I have the light shining in on me. Yeah, so the first three noble truths we've explored already. You can catch them all on YouTube. The fourth noble truth is, and I love these because they're really practical, tactical, like instructions for living. They're not commandments, they're invitations. And it's like, actually, I want you to think about the Eightfold Path, which is the fourth noble truth. So remember the first noble truth, dukkha. Life isn't perfect. There is unsatisfactoriness to this realm. And regardless of whether we like it or not, that's the truth. You will experience praise and blame, gain and loss, shame and disrepute. No matter what, you can do nothing to prevent it. And the main thing is to remember about the first noble truth is like it's not wrong, but we feel like it's wrong. Dukkha always feels like a mistake. It's so hard for us to believe that it's imperfect, right? Intensity of feeling, sometimes feeling agitated or anxious can feel like a mistake. Being angry for no apparent reason can feel like a mistake. The fact that we die and yet we love, right? That everyone we love will die seems like a mistake. But it's part and parcel of this conditioned experience of being human. Second noble truth, that we really suffer because we cling, we crave. Craving, either I crave for what I do not have in this moment. I want what I don't have, or I don't want what I do. That causes a lot of pain. It's not actually that maybe our child is struggling in school. That's not actually the problem. The problem is that I believe, or you believe, or we believe it shouldn't be that way. Right? It's a lot easier to address what's happening when our heart is open to the reality of the situation and we're not believing that we're wrong or they're wrong or something's wrong. Second noble truth. Third noble truth. Yay, good news. There's an end to suffering. There is, and it has to do with the dismantling of craving and attachment. The fourth noble, it's so weird that the third isn't the fourth and the fourth isn't the third. There's a reason for that. There's an emphasis in the fourth noble truth on practice. The third noble truth says, yes, there is an end to suffering, but the fourth emphasizes that this is a conscious, onward leading practice. It's for our benefit. And the Eightfold Path, it's not linear. A lot of times you'll see it represented in a circle or a cycle. I like the symbolism of it being a journey, or you can think of it like a wheel. Okay. And again, they're not commandments. They're invitations. They're practices, really. And through these practices, we dismantle shame, self-doubt, suffering is dismantled. And we have access to our birthright. We have access to like true, deep, relentless happiness, not the emotion, but a deep, deep sense of ok-ness that is unshakable. And the cool thing is, before I even go on more about the Eightfold Path, we get to have confidence. Yeah, because sometimes it can be like, well, not me. Not me. But you've all tasted it. You've all tasted it because the Eightfold Path is woven into all the work we've done together. It's woven into Radiant on the Rise. It's woven into all the teachings. And so you've experienced the relief and the fullness of expression and the fullness of being that becomes possible when we unhook ourselves from believing that I need something out there to be okay in here. What a relief. Yeah. Yeah. So that you don't, it's like nothing's missing, but we forget, right? So these teachings, again, are against the stream, but the stream is like, it's a river, man. It's like fucking, I don't know. It's like really strong, right? Like it's like, so the truth of the matter is we wake up again and again and again and again and again, right? We fall asleep and we wake up. We fall asleep and we wake up. And the Eightfold Path really helps to keep us on track, right? We help keep each other on track too through coming together in Sangha. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about, and this is really pithy. If you, I mean, this is a lifetime worth of study, right? Like, but I'm just going to briefly mention the three major components of the Eightfold Path, and then we'll practice together. Because it's not just mindfulness, or it's not just mindfulness. It's not just meditation. It really ultimately comes down to action. And in the Theravadan tradition, especially of Buddhism, which is like tied to the Thai forest tradition, there's an emphasis on mitigating and turning down suffering and harm. And turning up, right? Like I want to say benefit, joy, compassion, equanimity, friendliness. So let's talk about the three parts and then the parts to the three parts. So the first part is ethical conduct, and the Pali word for it is sila, ethical conduct, sila, okay? And then we have concentration, samadhi is the Pali word for concentration. And then we have wisdom or prajna. Prajna is the Pali word for wisdom. Sorry, had a little burp there. Okay, so let's talk about ethical conduct, sila. There's three components to ethical conduct. And the first one is right view. Right view. And basically right view is we really need to see where we are headed before we begin. We need to be connected to our intention. Because if we don't have an intention, we're kind of like, we're shooting in the dark, so to speak. We're much more likely to kind of fall into our habitual ways of reacting to life, which is a lot of the times anchored in fear. So we need to see where we're headed, and we always do that at the beginning of our sits. I ask you for your intention, serenity, right? Or peace or connection, right? Or just to be at ease inside my own skin. What is it that you most want? Freedom, right? Something like, so our intention. Now, your intention isn't something that you try to create, and it's not coming to you in some future moment. There ain't no future moment, really. That later, right, that you're waiting to get to, that we're waiting to get to, if you really look, it doesn't exist. We're creating later right now. Right view. Right view. We aren't pinging to our future self to decide how we're going to be right now. The pinging to the future self is Matthew Brensilver. I love that when he says that. I'm like totally like, there's so many times I kind of ping to my future self to like sense how I'm going to be okay right now. Like, am I okay right now? Well, let me look. Is it going to be okay later? That's not right view, And so there's a sense of like, okay, everything happening in this moment, and realizing the amount of suffering that comes when we are attached to the becoming self, who I'm becoming, where this is going. I mean, that robs us of our contentment. Yeah? Right here, right now. It's all we need to handle. And then from here, what's my intention? And then right intention, right view, then we have right intention. And that's the resolve to do what's best. The resolve. It takes a certain amount of energy. And then there's right speech. Oh my gosh. I don't do so good with that one. I mean, I'm really like, when we're honest, it's not at all like, we're not faulting ourselves, there's a lot of improvement for all of us, I think, on all of these. Right speech is like using speech in a helpful way and not causing harm through slander or gossip. But gossip is so juicy, isn't it? And in some relationships, for me, this is where it's hard. It's like, that's kind of like the backbone of our relationship, when that's been the case, where it's like we connect through gossip, or like, even anyway, that's, it can be really challenging to dismantle that form of connection. But it's not true connection. So that is ethical conduct, right view, right intention, right speech. And now we'll go to Samadhi Concentration. And the first aspect of this is right action. And we can think about right action as being like doing what's best. And sometimes it's like, okay, so I went to don't tell the school. No, I'm kidding. But Arthur, he really pulled it together. Like it's his first year, my son, in middle school. Man, it's a different ballgame in middle school, yeah. And there's like there are a lot of assignments on the computer, and like him figuring out how the point system works and like navigating that. And I helped him a lot, and he really made great strides in like moving through challenges in the first semester of middle school. And I promised him that, given a certain, given a certain markers, that I would take him to knots, because we have passes, and he could miss school, right? So yesterday we took the day off. Well, I have the day off, but I took him to knots, and it was so fun. We listened, because he's all into rap music, so he likes Eminem. And I'm like, so I had to play Warren G on the way to knots, right? But not the clean version either, and we were just having so much fun. singing in me too. It's like I'm have a little mudita just like remembering that. But okay, so right action in that case, doing what's best, it wasn't like what was best for me. I don't really particularly like roller coasters, as a matter of fact, and he loves them. But I knew that for him, I would do it. I would go on roller coasters for him. Right action, doing what's best for the collective, me and him together, right? Because but I tell you, I went on Silver Bullet twice. I went on Jaguar, all these roller coasters, one after the other, and my stomach wasn't right. I'm like, gosh, I used to love them when I was a kid. I went on the swings, which are usually really fun, where they go round and round, those swings. I kid you not, I threw up, on the swing. Luckily, I had nothing on my stomach. So, that would have been but I was like, I can't, and I was heaving in the trash can when I got off the ride. And then right action, doing what's best, was me saying, buddy, you're going to take the rest of these roller coasters on your own, but I'll sit here in the shade and wait for you. And he was fine with that. So it's not always what's best for us, but it might be what's best for the collective. Right livelihood. Our habits, and that's a second one after right action. Our habits and day-to-day work, they don't cause harm to ourselves or others. Right? So these are deep reflections. And then the last piece is prajna, or wisdom. And the first of prajna is right effort. And right effort refers to giving ourselves to the moment and the tasks at hand. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no future, right? Because if I'm saving myself for the future, I'm half-assing it right now. I'm not totally here, right? I'm in the conversation I need to have with someone else. I'm in my vacation, or I'm in my complaining, but I'm not here. I'm in my head. That's not right effort. We catch ourselves when we're doing that. And then if we can, we give ourselves to the moment and the tasks at hand. My teacher calls it completion without regret. Oh my gosh. And when he lived here, he lives in Hawaii now, but I remember when I went to his home, everything was so cared for. I mean, just so cared for. I was like, man, he's really here. He's really here. I went to the bathroom and I felt like the bathroom had been cleaned just for me. Right effort. Right mindfulness, discerning right action and intention through awareness of the body and mind. Right mindfulness. It might be like that. You might notice that you want to snap. I might notice I want to snap at one of the kids. But if I have right mindfulness, I might catch it. Take a breath. I think the sacred pause that is really helpful to do throughout the day, just to pause and touch in what's true for me now. Are any of the hindrances present right now? And that way I can do, my action will come from a place that's wholesome. Doesn't mean that a hindrance hasn't arisen, but I'm not acting out of it. And then the last aspect of prajna, or wisdom, is right concentration. And that's our dedicated practice. It's really good, like we're going to do in a few moments, to have time to just sit and let the attention gather. There's almost a certain power that's cultivated through that. You sense it when you do it. The mind doesn't understand it. But there's something deeper inside that's like, gosh, I think this might be a place that will make the soul less thirsty, as Kabir talks about, the wanting creature. Yeah, I said to the wanting creature inside me, what is this river you want to cross? Do you really think that there is someplace else that will make the soul less thirsty? Just check it out right now, do you? In that absence, you will find nothing. Be firm then and enter into your own body. There you have a solid place for your feet. Don't go off somewhere else. Just throw away all thoughts of imaginary things and stand firm in that which you are. Stand firm. Like here, you know? And then the mind's like, but we need to think about that, or we need to worry about that, or remember that. It's right. And it's like our dedicated practice helps us to not quiet the mind, not still the mind, not none of that BS. It helps us to like see more clearly and be less hooked into the just natural fluctuations of this heart and mind that really has nothing to do with you and nothing to do, it does have something to do with you and me, but it also doesn't. Meaning I'm not causing my thoughts and emotions to arise. Therefore, why am I taking them so personally? And also like there's this aspect of turning towards the self with friendliness. Because without friendliness, you know, the arising of thought and emotions feels like a mistake, right? We'll go to war with ourselves. We'll go to war. And I see all kinds of war happening, even in spiritual communities. And they're not there yet. Because there's nowhere to get. Yeah, there's nowhere to get. And so the Eightfold Path helps us but unearth and uncover the refuge that is here in this moment. My teacher calls it the refuge of this only moment body. And all of us have the capacity to practice. And when we practice the Eightfold Path, the heart is liberated. The heart is freed. The mind is freed. Yeah. So let's just take a breath together. I'll take a nice deep breath in. And letting it go. I'm curious, before we move into our meditation, if you would just put in the chat any ahas that you're having or anything that's helpful for you, or just like, I just want to check in with you and see like anything you have questions about. I mean, this is like, this is a lifetime's worth of work, but for today's talk, it's try to simplify it as much as possible. Years ago at the OC Fair, I did the exact same thing after an adult ride with my son where I was spinning around. How funny. Right? I'm like, I don't know. It's like my stomach. I used to go on all the roller coasters when I was like, a kid. I'd go on all of them. And I would still do it if it didn't make me sick. It makes me sick now. Any questions or anything landing for you? Aha, oh yeah, we fall asleep and we wake. We fall asleep and, yep. Yeah, good. And anytime, good, Marlene, that's right. Turning toward, that's it. It is the key. She says, turning towards myself with friendliness is the key. You think about a key unlocking something, and she's right. Because if I'm checking in here and this doesn't feel the way I think it should, or I thought I'd already figured this out, so like, why is this still here? Friendliness isn't there. Openness isn't there, right? So we never get good at this. Yeah, that's, the ego wants to get good at it and figure it out, but the truth of the matter is, friendliness towards the self is the key. Because who knows what's here? Who knows what's going to be here in an hour? Who knows what's going to be here tomorrow? It's always changing. I appreciate what you said about the idea that we have to get someplace in order to be okay. Right? Yeah, because my saying that brings mindfulness to it. It's already in here, right? And then I mention it and it's seen, like that forward leaning. Impatience is another word for it, right? When I was on a retreat, I really noticed even the subtlest ways I would lean into the next breath. And I was like, wow, it's so good to see those things. It's not bad news, it was good news. I like the reminder not to take our thoughts and feelings so personally. Yep, Marilyn, good. And then Marilyn, watch the hindrances from last week. It's on YouTube. That will really, I think if you like that, then you'll really like last week's Dharma talk. I don't think you were here. So good. Yeah. All right. So we'll find our comfortable seat. I want to mention here that your donations really do make a difference. And you can donate to me, Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. A lot of you Venmo me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And makes a big difference. So I can keep coming here. And it actually allows me to really prepare for these talks. Yeah? Because I could just come here and wing it. And I've done that before. But when I'm supported in that way, it supports me to take the time to really like unearth the Dharma, and you know, I'll always weave psychology in there and other things in there too, but it helps me prep and make these as good as I possibly can for you so that you're fed for the week. Change, feeling the unknown good, and yet have to be here as I say goodbye to what I've called home. Yes. Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thinking, is there anything else I wanted to mention? I think that's good. Yeah. So for the intermission, or the transition from our talk to our sit. Yeah. So wisdom of taking the sacred pause. Yeah. Good. If you're sitting on a chair, I encourage you to put your both feet on the floor, and you can bring your back away from the back of the chair, unless like you need the support. And then so take care of you. I shared this poem in yoga on Friday, and I'm going to share it again today. Just as we remember Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed away recently. And I think that this poem, when we really take it to heart, captures like what it really means to be a whole human being. What it really means to take this heart and this mind. When I say less personally, I don't mean freed from love or care. That's the problem with like taking things less personally, right? It's like we care a lot about what this heart and mind experience. Yeah, because it affects us. We care about it. We tend to it. But what we dislodge from is this idea that we're at fault, like somehow we're practicing wrong for feeling this way or doing something wrong, right? Maybe I should, I don't know, like it goes, I'll stop there. All right, so this is called Call Me by My True Names. Don't say I will depart tomorrow. Even today I am still arriving. Look deeply. Every second I am arriving to be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest, to be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower, and to be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that is alive. I am the mayfly, metamorphosing on the surface of the river. And I am the bird who swoops down to swallow the mayfly. I am the frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond. And I am the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. And I am the arms merchant, selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl. I am the 12-year-old girl refugee on a small boat who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands. And I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people, dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm. It makes flowers bloom all over the earth. And my pain is like a river of tears. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and my laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up, and so the door of my heart can be left open, the door of compassion. For the first few minutes here, allowing yourself to rest in the body of ease. Letting your awareness be soothed by an anchor. You may choose maybe the breath, your breath, or sound. I'll be quiet for the next few minutes so we can just let our awareness gather and settle. Often the way that we lean forward, we can notice it as agitation in the body. If we're not leaning forward, we might notice it as an absence. There's agitation or the absence of it. We incline either way towards friendliness. We add friendliness to our experience, like we might add salt to food. And we allow friendliness now to meet whatever awareness is drawn towards. Letting awareness open up now beyond your anchor. Becoming curious about where it is, what it goes towards. Maybe there's a part of the body that wants attention. We sort of hang out with the shoulder or the hip or the back or the belly or the chest. With no evaluation, no expectation, we just notice, does it get bigger, smaller, stay the same? When it's no longer interesting, we come back to our anchor. We just come back to the sense of resting with the body of ease, in the body of ease. We might notice the way awareness goes searching. It goes looking. It gets caught. We want to notice what that kind of feels like in the body when we leave ourselves. We notice we've left ourselves. come back. We come back to the felt sense of embodiment. And we trust that this is enough. We recognize getting caught as part of our practice too. And when we notice we've been caught, when we notice we're thinking about a conversation and we're narrating or we're judging, we just come back. We let that fold into the practice. We let it be part of the practice. Keep the belly soft. Relax it if it starts to tighten up. These last few moments, we'll bring a hand palm down on the chest, on your chest. Sensing what that contact is like. Extending kindness and care or friendliness to yourself in any way that you need it. It's good to just acknowledge if there's anything hard that you're going through right now, or if there's anything that you're celebrating, or if there's some variation of that. Sort of sensing what it's like to be there for yourself. To orient towards pleasure. Let what I feel fill me but not consume me. Let me follow what I feel but not be forced. Let me become the kind of soul who never clings too hard, who lets go and yet loves. Let me imagine better worlds yet work in this one. Let me touch and treasure even people I can never hold. And let me learn from all my losses. Let me out and let me in, and let me see, and let me be a window, maybe broken, but through which a bit of air and sunlight comes. So we bring our palms together if you like. Just taking a moment to really share the merits of our practice with all beings in the four directions, acknowledging our, our good fortune and to be able to partake of the teachings and to have the time to practice together. And it's in recognition of our good fortune and our desire that all beings to be free that we extend kindness and the merits of our practice to beings in the north, south, east, and west. May we all be at ease and at peace. May we all feel safe and free from inner and outer harm. May we all be truly and deeply happy. May we all be healthy. May we have a feeling of well-being that isn't bound by circumstances or conditions. Blessings. Oh, Julie's here. So good to see you, Julie. When you're ready, you can flutter the eyes open. I didn't mention having being in the body yet. I mean, when we open the eyes, yeah? So just taking your body with you as you see out these eyes and as you look at the folks here in the Sangha. Julie, Candace, Alan, Joanne, Marilyn, Ruth, Devaya, Marlene, and Anna. So good to sit with you today. Please come back next week, 10 a.m. PT on Tuesday. We're going to be exploring the 7 factors of awakening. The 7 factors of awakening. Oh, won't that be fun? No, it is really. Come, come for that. And because this is about waking up. And so 7 factors of awakening next week. And also on Saturday, I'm opening up our Radiant Circle gathering to other folks who want to take up more space in their life, who need the strength to shine. So if you or someone you know could use support in dismantling self-doubt and shame, and so that they can really go after what they want and need without looking for approval first, then that's happening on Saturday. And our class is at 9 a.m. And the link will
come.
Yeah.
Did you send me the link?
Yes, it's this one too. It'll be this classroom, right? It's always the same classroom until it's not, but it's been this one. But yeah, so Candace, save this. Show up with this link on at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And that's true for all of you, but also share it with friends too, because we're going to be welcoming new folks into Radiant and on the Rise this month and next month, and Saturday kind of kicks everything off. So if you know of someone, it's free. It'll be about 75 minutes to 90-minute class, and share it with them. I would greatly appreciate it. And then also share our Sangha with folks who could use this in their life. And I'll see you next week.